Fundamentals of Neural Networks. Understanding the decision tree. In order to understand this, we must first assume that you know nothing. Now, knowing nothing, how do you make a grilled cheese sandwich? If you struggle with this parameter, this is essentially the parameter that a neural network has to deal with. Whether you realize it or not, when you make a grilled sandwich, you are making a decision tree. This decision tree was first put together by some experiments and then solidified through practice. I can remember the first time that I made a grilled cheese sandwich, which erupted in flames because I had the heat too high. Therefore, the next grilled cheese sandwich had the heat at half of the metric that I was using. In this, the sandwich came out all right, but eventually, through practice, I found that the best temperature for me to cook these grilled cheese sandwiches was between 60 to 70% of the heat of what my stove could produce. I know you are probably wondering, why am I talking about grilled cheese sandwiches? But I'm talking about what I had to go through and what you have to go through in order to learn how to do a grilled cheese sandwich. When we deal with neural networks, we have to figure out what instructions this machine is going to need in order to produce the result that we want, which requires us to emulate the decision tree we would have. Let us use the toast part of the grilled cheese sandwich because we would be here all day if we would try to create a decision tree for the entire grilled cheese sandwich. 1. What are the features of toast? Well, it is slightly burnt bread with a little butter spread on one side. 2. How burnt is slightly burnt? 3. How much is too burnt? 4. How much is too little burnt? 5. What is a little butter? 6. What is too much butter? 7. What is too little butter? There's a lot more that could go here. As you can see, a decision tree is probably a lot more, but these would likely make you give a syntactical answer. Too much butter is this, or too burnt is this, with a likely representation of a picture or a detailed description is what we humans would give. But computers don't understand this, at least not directly. Instead, we give it a sequence that it remembers, and then give each sequence a score. If it is too much, we give it above a 5, or if it is too little, then we give it less than a 5. All right, let's make a partial toast decision tree for our neural network, so that you can imagine one. Imagine the top of your tree being a square that says Toast Decision Tree. An arrow points to a second square saying Toast Input, which branches into 3 other options. Bread equals 1, butter equals 4, burnt equals 6. From there, the bread equals 1 option flows into one other box that says Is it bread, which branches into 3 options, 1, 0, and 0.5. Going back to toast input, the second option, butter equals 4, flows into one other option, Is there butter? This branches into 3 options, 1, 0, and 0.5. The branch that begins with burnt equals 6 flows into one other option, Is it burnt? From there, that branches into 3 options, 1, 0, and 0.5. Now imagine you have a flow of a red arrow and a green arrow. The red arrow starts under the bread branch, under Is it bread, at the 0 option. A red arrow will feed into the butter branch, right under the initial block butter equals 4. From there is also a green option arrow that flows over into the burnt branch under burnt equals 6. Now, there are 2 options that could flow from here. Under Is there butter, if both a green and red arrow flow into the 0 option, they will both flow down and go over to There is no toast. Also, if both red and green arrows flow from the burnt branch into Is it burnt, into the 0 option, these will also flow over and feed into There is no toast. The other option, which currently has no arrows flowing to it from any of the branches, is This toast is burnt.